Good evening. I call this regular meeting to order at 6:32 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Dean.
Over your heart, repeat after me. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Vice Mayor Machenga is unable to join us this evening. Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Wu,
Here.
Councilmember Chan,
Here.
Councilmember Ding,
Here.
Councilmember Harrington.
Here.
Closed session report. Our city attorney will now give the closed session report from the special meeting held earlier tonight.
Thank you, Alderman Mayor, council members. Council considering one item in closed session, anticipated litigation, one case. No reportable actions were taken by the council in closed session. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have some announcement from our chief city clerk.
Tonight's meeting is live streamed on the city's online platforms. If you wish to address the city council during tonight's meeting, we request that you please complete a speaker's card and hand it to the clerk at this time. When speaking, please state your name for the record. If you wish to receive city council agendas, please sign up on the city's website.
So approval of agenda order. Are there any objections to the agenda order? I hear it now. So next item, please.
Presentations. For the full text of the proclamations, please visit the city's website. Military Appreciation Month. Mayor Wu will make the presentation. We will now invite the following employee veterans representing all 4 branches of the United States military to come forward to the podium to accept the proclamation. Police Captain Edwin Brock, U.S. Marines, Sergeant. Detective Eric Britt, U.S. Navy, Operations Specialist, 2nd Class. Police Sergeant Dan Gosserand, U.S. Navy, AT-2 Rescue Swimmer. Police Officer Josue Chu, U.S. Marines, Corporal. Police Officer Kevin Watson, U.S. Navy, Petty Officer, 1st Class. Public Works Mechanic 2, Raul Diaz, U.S. Air Force, Sergeant. And Public Works Inspector Ramon Gutierrez, U.S. Army, Corporal.
Thank you. Military Appreciation Month honors the current and former members of the United States Armed Forces, including those who have died in the pursuit of freedom. On this month, and throughout the year, citizens of St. Gabriel express our gratitude and commitment to St. Gabriel service members, veterans, and their families who have dedicated their lives in defense of our freedoms. I, John Wu, Mayor of the City of St. Gabriel, California, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as Military Appreciation Month in the City of St. Gabriel and encourage the community to join in this observance. Thank you. So we have proclamations, and should we present the proclamation right now, or?
Or you could have them say a few words first. Either way you want to do it, Mayor.
Awesome. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor Wu. Council members, on behalf of the employees and former service members here in the city of San Gabriel, and for the men and women around the world serving in various capacities, we thank you for taking the time to appreciate our efforts to help keep our country strong and our communities safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain Brock. So may I invite our council member that's joined to present the proclamation. guys look there first. Okay, hold on.
Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month and Mental Health Day. Mayor Wu will make the presentation. We will now invite the Chinatown Service Center Board President Vin Na and Daisy Ma, Chief Government and Community Relations Officer, to the podium to accept the proclamation.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor and council members, my name is Vin Go. I represent the Chinatown Service Center as the board chair, and next to me is Daisy Ma and our staff. We have Carrie Situ and Angela Chang, who is also on our staff. Thank you. And Asian American Heritage Month is beyond us. It's our community. We're here to represent CSC in partnership with the city, in that we created a outstation service where we will help the city connect with the residents in the city. And part of that service is a referral program that will be an outreach to anything that you can think of, from mental health to education to social services to medical services to any needs that your residents in the city of San Gabriel will have and will need. And we're just delighted to have that partnership. We go back a few years. We provided iPads to the San Gabriel City Police Department to provide translation services, as well as the aid to help in handling mental health issues when an officer faces someone who is a little bit off that day. So thank you for having us, and thank you for the partnership. We look forward to many, many years of this continued partnership and serving the community together.
Thank you very much. Please stay. Well, thank you very much, Chairman Ngo and Daisy. Also, your honorable Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Monterey Park. So I have the presentation read as follows. Well, San Gabriel's population is approximately 60% Asian American and Pacific Islander, and includes devoted community members who serve as artists, business owners, educators, healthcare professionals, lawyers, and judges, clergy members, first responders, and military personnel. And San Gabriel is home to an estimated 2,199 local businesses, of which many are AAPI-owned small businesses. In addition, rising awareness about the mental health of AAPI communities will foster safe spaces for discussion about self-care, conflict resolution, and coping strategies, and encourages professional interest in health and human service professions. Now, therefore, I, John Wu, Mayor of the City of San Gabriel, California, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and May 10th, 2024 as Asian American and Pacific Islander Mental Health Day in the City of San Gabriel, and urge the citizens of San Gabriel to join me in this special observance. Thank you. So let me invite my colleagues to present the proclamation. Next, please.
Historic Preservation Month. Mayor Wu will make the presentation. We will now invite Terry Huerta, Director of Mission Development, Mission San Gabriel Archangel, to the podium to accept the proclamation.
Thank you, Terry.
Good evening.
Good evening. The seat of, let me read that, and that will be your turn. The seat of San Gabriel, as the birthplace of Los Angeles, is home to a wide range of significant cultural resources that reflect our shared heritage and history. The San Gabriel community continues to demonstrate its commitment and preservation as it grows and develops through the integration of historic elements with redevelopment and the recognition, protections, rehabilitation, and restoration of historic properties. Now, therefore, I, John Wu, Mayor of the City of San Gabriel, California, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as Historical Preservation Month in the City of San Gabriel and encourage the community to join in this observance. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Terry.
Thank you, Mayor Wu. Council members, Mark, Martin. I want to say thank you. This is a surprise. On behalf of Father John Molyneux, our pastor, and also the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, we just want to say thank you for all the assistance that was provided to us during our time of restoration after the fire. We did it in 2.5 years, and there was a lot to be done. It couldn't have taken place without the help of several city departments working alongside us. But I really feel that Mission San Gabriel after the fire is more beautiful than it ever was before. And you could say that we were really resurrected after the fire. Receiving this award comes on the heels of being nominated from the California Preservation Society, one of the award winners for the restoration job at Mission San Gabriel. So we will be attending an award ceremony at the end of the month and receiving that special award. Mission San Gabriel is the heart of this city, and as a resident, as a former commissioner, and just a person who loves the history and the culture and just the beautiful environment that we've created in San Gabriel. I'm very proud to accept this, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you so much for the great work. Next item, please.
Introduction of Police Department employees. Police Chief Elizalde will make the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor Wu, Councilman Harrington, Councilman Ding, and Councilman Chan. One of the great pleasures that I have as a police chief is to be able to hire new employees and welcome them into our family. Tonight I have the privilege of being able to present to you and our community 2 professional staff members and 3 sworn police officers. So first up is Lydia Gomez. Lydia was born and raised in Southgate, California, and moved to the San Gabriel Valley in 2020. She obtained her associate's degree from Liberty University and a bachelor's degree from Cal State University, Long Beach. Her most recent experience with law enforcement comes from Azusa Police Department, where she served as the administrative assistant for 2 police chiefs. She's now my executive assistant. Lydia's ready to start her new chapter in her life and her professional career here at the San Gabriel Police Department and for the community of San Gabriel. Tonight, Lydia's badge will be presented to her by her son, Nathan. Next up, we have Corinne Aguilar. Corinne started her career with the City of San Gabriel in October of 2017 as an administrative assistant in the Human Resources Department. She most recently was a record specialist for the San Gabriel Police Department and recently promoted to public safety dispatcher. She has an interest for dispatching and is fond of law enforcement. Standing next to her is her father, Bob Aguilar, a 30-year veteran of LAPD. Corinne looks forward to learning her role as a new public safety dispatcher and serving the community of San Gabriel. Her badge will be pinned by her father, Bob Aguilar. Next, we have Officer Melissa Beltran. Melissa grew up in El Sereno and has had a passion and goal to pursue a career in law enforcement. Her career started at Cal State LA, where she worked in the public safety and parking control bureaus, while simultaneously being a cadet at PCC. She holds a bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor in criminal justice from Cal State LA. She most recently graduated from the Rio Hondo Police Academy, Class 214. San Gabriel holds a special place in her heart as her graduation ceremony from the Police Academy was held across the street at the Mission Playhouse. Since joining San Gabriel Police Department, she sees a diverse and growing community, along with council and city staff who care about its people. She states that it is a privilege to serve this community, and she looks forward to growing in the profession. I'm sorry, I had one last page, that her badge was pinned by Angelica Reyes, her mother. And to her family and friends, Melissa wanted to thank you for your continued support throughout her career and her endeavors. Police Officer Martin Martinez. Martin was born and raised in Riverside, California, and resides in the Inland Empire with his amazing fiancée, Serena, and beautiful 2-year-old daughter, Savannah. Martin is fortunate to have 2 devoted, hardworking, loving parents who raised 4 children, where his family was always the cornerstone of his life. His passion for law enforcement began at a young age when he joined the Police Explorer program for the Riverside Police Department. He wanted a career where he could make a positive impact on people's lives and be able to help those in need during their worst times. He is proud to be a graduate of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Academy, Class 230. Outside of work, he enjoys going on outdoor runs, working out, spending time with his family, and attending Dodger games. Martin is eager to serve the city of San Gabriel and grow as a police officer. He is thankful for his family, his friends, colleagues, and loved ones. Pinning his badge is his fiancée, Serena. And last but not least, Officer Adam Tokunaga. Adam grew up in Lakewood, California, and is the first police officer in his family. Ever since his childhood, his passion and goal was to become a police officer. Growing up, he has always looked to those in the profession, especially having neighbors and close friends in the field. Outside of work, Adam enjoys surfing, snowboarding, hanging out at the beach with his friends and his dog. He is thankful for this opportunity and looks forward to serving the city of San Gabriel and its community. Pinning his badge is his girlfriend, Mika. Mayor, would you like to take a picture and counsel with their new employees?
Sure. Let's take a picture with our new family members. And thank you again, Chief Alazade. Thank you very much, and thank you all our PDs, and welcome our new officers and dispatchers and staff of the San Gabriel Police Station. Thank you. Next item, please.
Public comment. This is the time set aside for members of the public to address the City Council on items of interest that are not on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the San Gabriel City Council. If you wish to address the council, please fill out a speaker's card and hand it to the clerk at the beginning of each item you wish to comment on. Our first comment was submitted online from Robert Powers and reads as follows. I'm Robert, an independent college counselor who supports LGBTQ+ students in San Gabriel USD. Thank you for hearing this comment in my absence, as I am speaking about LGBTQ+ students at a conference this week. Today, I'm asking for clarity from each council member about the city's stance on forced outing. I'm also asking for formal action to forbid this practice in the city and at City Hall. In official statements, Commissioner Cheryl Cabot incorrectly claimed the city would be practicing forced outing by not notifying the parents of LGBTQ+ youth who disclose their identities in public, and bizarrely, she attempted to attribute this misinformation to the state attorney general. This is both concerning and embarrassing because forced outing is actually, literally, exactly the practice that Commissioner Cabot and elsewhere Commissioner Carney say the city is implementing. Forced outing, often euphemized as parental rights, is a practice where an adult would notify the parents of LGBTQ+ youth who disclose their identities in public. This puts those youth in danger of harm and prevents them from feeling safe or seeking adult mentors, and contributes to the chilling suicide rate for LGBTQ+ youth that I told you about last month. A forced outing policy can exist in San Gabriel without being written down. If commissioners practice forced outing and promote it to others, that's an implied policy, which is even worse than a formal policy because youth could be harmed without any warning. I'd like to underline this especially. Besides being harmful and wrong, according to the California Constitution Center at Berkeley Law, Forced outing policies are illegal because they violate the youth's constitutional right to privacy. So San Gabriel may be in serious violation of the state constitution. Because of the official statements promoting forced outing, the City Council must now unanimously clarify the city's stance on this practice and put some policy into writing to quash the ambiguity. I hope the city will swiftly forbid forced outing in clear language and then put that into code and policy. So here is the question. If youth speak about their identity in public spaces, including city council meetings, should city staff, officials, volunteers, or any other adult contact their parents or teachers about their identity, or should they absolutely not do that? If the answer is anything but absolutely not, then San Gabriel practices forced outing. If you cannot snuff out forced outing, I recommend contacting a constitutional lawyer. If you don't know one, I can recommend one. Our first in-person speaker is Becky Chang.
Dear council members, Becky Chang here, Director of Government Affairs from Athens Services, your waste and recycling partner here for the city of San Gabriel. I just wanted to let you know and also invite the residents of San Gabriel to join us this upcoming Saturday, May 11th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Smith Park, located 232 West Broadway, to pick up their free compost from Athens Services again. And we encourage the residents to drive through with their proof of residency, the sturdy containers to pick up their compost. Please, please come with sturdy containers, no bags of any kind, and no paper boxes. 亲爱的圣盖博居民们，这个礼拜六5月11号，从早上9点到下午中午12点，在 Smith Park， 亚捷回收环保公司将会发放我们的有机土。那举办这个活动呢，我们希望圣盖博的居民带着您的居住证明前往领取。请记得活动是从早上9点到中午12点，请自备坚固的容器，开车前往领取。我们不接受任何的塑胶袋、纸袋、纸箱、麻袋，送完为止，逾时不候。Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Vicky Goto.
Good evening, Council. At your last meeting where you voted to terminate the HERE Commission, Mr. Harrington seemed confused about the difference between equality and equity. So I brought along a little picture to help you all. Let's say our goal is for everyone to ride their bike for National Bike Month. Now, if we treat everyone equally and we give everyone the exact same bicycle, that sounds great. But as you can see from the first picture, that bike only works for one person, and the others are struggling or left out altogether. Now, in the second picture, which is equity, each person receives the bike that they need according to their abilities, and everyone is able to ride. We've met our goal. So as you can see, equity is not political, as Mr. Harrington stated, but it's actually meeting people's needs and getting the job done. And his example of accessible sidewalks is actually an example of equity, not equality, and it's required by the law. So I hope that everyone will use these terms correctly in the future. And by the way, we covered this at a HERE Commission meeting after Mr. Chan repeatedly misused the word equity at one of your meetings. But I'm certain that neither one of you watched any of the HERE Commission meetings to see what we were actually trying to accomplish. So I've brought along some copies in case you get confused again in the future. And for the council, it's your responsibility to correct your colleagues when they are making egregious misstatements of fact. That's your job. So when Ms. Menchaca stated that the HERE Commission had a single issue focus, you all had received a 70-page staff report that detailed the HERE Commission's accomplishments and a very robust 2024 work plan. So all of you knew that that was patently false, including Ms. Menchaca. But not one of you spoke up to correct her. That's your job. And it's the least that you can do for the residents of San Gabriel. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no more speaker cards.
Okay.
Good evening, Chastity Jennings Nunez. I'm a resident and former HERE commissioner. The agenda for tonight's meeting was published on May 1st. Reviewing it, I scanned the consent calendar for the second reading of Ordinance 707 that dissolved the HERE Commission and was passed on April 16th. I was confused when I did not see that item anywhere on the agenda. I've been informed that it was intentionally not placed on today's agenda because Councilmember Menchaca would not be present. Why? Her presence is not needed. The City Council has a quorum. You did not leave off other agenda items, including voting on a raise for our city manager, restructuring the retirement benefits of city employees, and a vote to increase the fees another 2.5% that the city charges its residents. You even have the second reading of Ordinance 706 concerning ADUs that was passed on the very same night as the one dismantling the HERE Commission. Apparently, none of these items created so much anxiety as the second reading of the ordinance disbanding the HERE Commission. Or do you want to allow Vice Mayor Menchaca the opportunity to gloat over her seeming victory? The fact that there was an intentional decision not to place this item on the agenda tonight makes it clear to me that the action to end the HERE Commission was wrong. It had nothing to do with the Commission's work having run its course. It had everything to do with what we are seeing on a national level, and that is elected officials using their positions and the staff that they have the privilege to lead as their own personal agents for payback and vengeance when a citizen dares to question or criticize their standing on an issue. This is what the last 2 months have been about. The fact that this was all initiated by Vice Mayor Menchaca over our commission's call to protect and foster inclusion for our LGBTQ+ residents and visitors, and it required her to partner with two people who are openly opposed to equity and refuse to acknowledge the implicit and explicit bias that is a daily reality for the majority of our majority city, is just an added layer of animosity. The HERE Commission was not allowed to hold our April 23rd Commission meeting when we plan to recognize our two youth ambassadors, Kelly Munoz-Rios and Aaron Saitu, for their outstanding year of work. And we were not allowed to proceed with the mental health film screening and panel discussion that we had scheduled on May 11th for Mental Health Awareness Week and AAPI Heritage Month. Mayor Wu, I hope that you do not allow this type of improper behavior to permeate your tenure as mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more public comment? No more. So next item, please.
Consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar are considered routine, and recommendations will be approved in one motion unless a member of the City Council or public requests separate discussion. We have not received a request from the public to pull any items. However, we have received a comment on item 4G. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953C3, reporting requirements, consent item D includes the following benefit changes to the city manager's salary. An increase of base annual salary by 5% to $257,317, and an anti-compaction provision that the annual base salary of the city manager shall never be less than 105% of the top range of the base salary of the city's next highest paid employee.
Would any council member like to pull an item for separate discussion? I see none. So do I have one public comment? Okay.
The comment comes to us on item 4G. It is from Jeffrey Santner, resident, and reads as follows. The City of San Gabriel has accepted the San Gabriel Valley Bicycle Master Plan, and it is posted on the city website. In that master plan, a Class 3 bike route is included on Broadway across the entire city of San Gabriel. In order to follow this plan and save time and money, the portion of Broadway that is being repaved should also include road markings and signage for this Class 3 bike route. Otherwise, the road will need to be closed and repainted later to implement the plan. That concludes the comment.
And Mr. Mayor, I can respond to that even though there wasn't a request, just to let the council know what's going on. That bike lane, if it is installed on Broadway, because Broadway is so narrow, we won't be taking away parking lanes. We won't be having to repave or restripe. If we do a bike lane there, we would just be doing a shared lane, which is the actual bike lane ornamentation on the pavement that's existing, as well as signage. So if we go forward with this project now, it won't be double work later on if we add that bike lane, which was the crux of the comment from the public.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. So do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll move.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, so motion made by Councilmember Harrington and second by Councilmember Dean. Please vote.
Motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Public hearing, proposed citywide fee schedule for fiscal year 2024 to 2025, resolution number 24-26. If you wish to comment on this item, please turn in your speaker card to the clerk now.
Where's that? Okay. Okay, so now, I now open the public hearing. Assistant Finance Director Lena Tan will make the staff presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. I'm Linda Tang, Assistant Finance Director for the City of San Gabriel. Tonight, it is my pleasure to present the proposed master fee schedule for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. As a minor change from the previous year's process, staff is presenting the citywide fee schedule for adoption, separate from the budget process. This minor procedural change is to improve the focus applied to the updates to the fee schedule as well as the adoption of the upcoming budget. Any approved update to the citywide fee schedule will be effective July 1st, 2024, and the citywide fee schedule document will be included in the appendix of the budget document. This slide provides basic explanation of various revenue types. At the top, we have users and regulatory fees. Users' fees are fees charged for the use of public service or program. For example, one of the examples would be the recreation programs. Regulatory fees are charged for the regulatory activities of a public program, for instance, fire inspections, building permits. These fees charged for services are limited to cost recovery. The next, we have fines and penalties. These are payments for the convictions of a misdemeanor or municipal infractions. Fines amounts for municipal code infraction are set by the city, for example, parking fines. And payments are allocated to the state, county, and cities on some of the fines. To the right, we have rents. These are fees for the use of public property, such as the Mission Playhouse and various parks. These fees are set at the city discretion. Staff is asking for the City Council approval on the adjustment to these three revenue categories tonight after presenting the proposed changes. There are two other revenue categories, as shown there to the right. The assessments and taxes. These are not considered tonight because they're generally, it takes voters in order to have the change. So again, just the three categories we have for revenues will be talked about tonight. This slide provides some background information as well as the approach the fee adjustments are made for fiscal year 24-25. The last formal fee and cost allocation study was completed in March of 2021 and was implemented for fiscal year 21-22. As a part of the adoption of that fee study, the City Council passes the Resolution 2121 to increase the fee each year by consumer price index in the LA County area. The January CPI, or Consumer Price Index for Los Angeles area, was 2.5 from January 23 to January 2024. In preparation for this meeting, finance staff collaborated with each affected department regarding their respective fee schedules for the upcoming fiscal year. Based on the reviews, most fees adjustments are proposed to be increased by the 2.5 CPI, rounded to the nearest whole dollar. Then there are also other fees adjustment proposed to better reflect the cost of the service or staff assessment of a fair and marketable rate. Then there's also some new fees added to the schedule to collect for the services provided. Based on the proposed adjustment, general fund revenue is estimated to increase by $160,000. On this slide and the next couple of slides is presenting the new fee added to the proposed master fee schedule. First one, single-day business permit. This is essentially a lower occupancy inspection permit fee to provide for a one-day event. And I would like to make it clear that this is for indoor only. As for outdoor or outside event, they will trigger a different permitting process, which is temporary use permit. So this fee is established at $100 for a single-day inspection. Inside permit could be for pop-ups, as an example. The second one is for city facility rental fees for 3-hour durations. This is established for the use of city facility counters for filming activity, per se. Since we do have already fees for parks, for shelters, different rental for Mission Playhouse, this is just a new fee that we're establishing for facilities as interests have come in recent time. Under grading and drainage, the plan review fee for a drainage plan and related report was already an existing fee on our current fee schedule at $2,337, as you can see at the bottom left, based upon the amount paid to the consultant. New for fiscal year 24-25 is adding 10% to the fee to recover for staff processing times and review time. This goes the same for the final parcel map, final track map, and the sewer study review as shown to the right, where the base fee is a fee for the consultants, and new for fiscal year 24-25 is the additional staff time that needs to be spent for processing and reviewing the reports. Sewer line cleaning is a new added fee. The city provided courtesy sewer line cleaning services to private party in the past few years when their lines were clogged to avoid overflow. So staff now proposes to charge for the service to recover the cost of the service. This slide presents the new proposed fee for third-party special event park facility rentals. And before I go through the description for each tier, I would like to clarify that these proposed fees are just for the rental of the park only, and this doesn't bypass any other city procedures, processes, or fees for staffing. Because the park space is outdoor, this triggered the need for applicants to go through the temporary use permit process first with our community development department planning. And if this is approved, then our community services can determine which tier the event falls within. Now going through the tiers, Tier 1 is for anybody, for anything that on Tier 1, it is a free, open to the public event. There's no alcohol served, limited setup, And the qualifying person or organization that can apply for this is nonprofit or community organizations. And the amount proposed there for, as you can see, $300 for Marshall Park, $400 for Smith Park, $550 for Vincent Lugo, and there's a $200 move-in and move-out venue fee per day. In a Tier 2 category, it shall be a free private event, no alcohol served, limited setup. They'll have control access and exclusive use of the area. And a qualifying person or organization that can apply for this is the nonprofit or community organizations. Again, and a fee, as you can see to the right, for Marshall Park, Smith Park, Vincent Lugo. So the 5 tiers do have similar setup for each of the parks, as you can see. For Tier 3 now is open to the public. There's no ticket for entry. Minimum setup shall be private, nonprofit fundraising events, which has larger logistic, and the qualifying person or organization is for all. And I would like to provide an example of that. For Tier 3, it will be like a nonprofit walk, run, festival with free admission, just to provide an example for this tier. For Tier 4, it is an event that shall be open to the public, no ticket for entry with a larger logistic, but there are fees charged for food, games, and activity. The qualifying person or organization allowed to apply for this is all. It can be open to all for the fees shown to the right for that category, Tier 4. For Tier 5, the events are ticketed with extensive setup in a venue. They will have control access and exclusive use of the park. And the qualifying person or organization, again, is all. For the fees that is shown to the right, such as the $700 for Marshall Park, $800 for Smith Park, $950 for Vincent Lugo, and a similar move-in and move-out venue fee that is set as $450 per day. Moving on to the pool. 3 of the fees shown here as notated by the asterisk were actually existing fee dating back to probably around 2017-18, but ended. And now they're being added to the fee schedule for the first time again for fiscal year 24-25 as community services wants to bring these classes back. And that's the pool junior lifeguard program for $75 a class, the pool lap swim at $5 per an hour class session, and the water aerobics as shown there to the right. The new fee that's being added is the swim team for regular non-San Gabriel-based pool user group. That's being proposed to be at $80 per hour. This is set at $10 over the San Gabriel-based pool user group to give priority to San Gabriel residents. Similar methodology was used for some of the other community services fee to ensure that priority is given to San Gabriel residents first. So fiscal impact, again, based on the fiscal year 24-25 forecasted revenue, a 2.5% increase in general fund fee is estimated to generate approximately $160,000 in general fund revenue. As for recommendation, after discussion, it is recommended that the City Council adopt Resolution 2426, updating the master fee schedule for fiscal year 24-25. I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Linda. Does any council member have questions for staff to clarify the report? Yes, Councilmember Chen, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Linda. You always a great job. Just a couple of clarifying, just for my understanding. On the PowerPoint that you just gave, looking at page 4, the item city facility rental fee for 3 hours rental, the example you gave was filming.
Yes.
Now, did we, What do we use to charge for filming, or have we not ever charged anything for filming, or was?
We do have filming fees for different facilities such as Mission Playhouse. I mean, they have set rental fees already.
I see.
But we do not have city facility rental fees.
So this would be an amount on top of whatever the fee is?
For filming, there are application fees, there
Okay.
are staff time as
Okay.
required. Let's say police or fire, they are fully burdened rates, so it's fully recovered
Okay.
on the time spent to be at the scene and be on the special event there. But as far as for city facility goes, this is correct, that this is the first time it is on our fee schedule.
Okay, so this would be on top of
Yes,
the
of any
current?
staff time.
Okay,
and
got it.
fees, correct.
Thank you. Next item, question I had was on page 5 of your report. And so does that also mean we have, before this suggested change to the fee schedule, we've never used to charge that extra 10% for staff time?
I'm sorry, for the, I'm on the wrong one. For
Ju-
the.
Yeah, I'm just asking you, you know,
Correct.
you're
For the
talking-
grading,
Yeah.
grading, drainage,
Right.
maps and sewer and the study report, that is correct. We did not charge the 10% for staff time. We only had the base fee.
I see.
As you can see, it's also available on our current fee schedule. The base fee is charged for consultants, but staff spends time on reviewing, processing, accepting the packages to get to the consultant. That was never charged in the past. We do have some other fees that have 10% staff time on there already. That is not shown on this slide right here because they're existing in the fee schedule. But these are a few that actually missed the 10% staff time, and now we would like to have it added.
I see, thank you. Then moving on to page 6, the pool fees. And so, for example, the pool water aerobics on the bottom
Correct.
right corner, the example they give is $10 per 1 hour class session. Now, is that a $10 for the whole class or $10 per person?
Per person.
Per person, per
Yes,
class?
yes, it's per
So-
person.
So depending on how many students we have, it's a $10 per student, and okay.
That is correct. And maybe I would like to make another clarifying.
Yes,
For
please.
the junior lifeguard program, the $75 that's proposed there per class.
Yes.
Is the same fee that was actually charged back in, like I said, 2017-18 that the program ended. So we did not even increase it in any way.
Oh, okay.
Expecting certainly when we provide those classes, there'll be a good number of people, at the same time, not one person by person.
Right.
Because that may not be recovered. I mean, that will be more than the cost. So that fee has not changed from 2017-18.
Okay.
So these are just available in the past, but now they want to bring it back, and the fees are the same.
Okay, great. Seems reasonable. I think that's all I have at the moment, so I'll yield. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Councilmember Chan. Any other colleagues would like to address that question? Okay. Well, thank you, Linda. I just have a couple of things we'd like to clarify. The first thing is about your presentation on added fee, which is a new service. It's called the sewer line cleaning. And it shows the amount is $598 for sewer line cleaning private party request.
Correct.
Usually how that happens, I mean, does that, when they have a backflows or because they have like a stock, then when they hire the private company or plumbing company, they cannot solve the problem and they will ask for city's help?
I'm going to try to answer this, or maybe Mark might have the answer before I can tell you what the cost will really represent, but do you want to?
Yes, Mark.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, Greg can't be here tonight. He's a little under the weather, so he and I talked about this. We do everything we can not to do work on private property. We don't want to spend taxpayer dollars doing something for the benefit of a private citizen, but there are times when we're out either addressing an overflow on city property or on private property, we react in an emergency, we bring out all of our equipment, and if we were not to either clean that person's line, there may be an overflow onto a neighboring property or onto public property or onto that person's property. And so we end up just cleaning it out as a courtesy or to save our own property. So in those rare instances where we are going to work on somebody's private property, we would like to be at least recouped for the cost of our staff being out there. But again, I want to stress, we, as little as possible, do work on private property, so only in those emergency instances.
Okay, thank you. Then, about the proposed fee schedule on, for the park facility, do we collect deposit when we rent it to the third party for special events?
For most of all of our rental, currently, the process is there is a deposit that we collect, either $300 or $350 for a facility. And those are refundable after the event is done for facility if all is good. As for this particular, are you talking about you're talking for the third-party special event park
Yes.
rental, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Certainly, at this point, what I have is referring to, the temporary use permit process first. So, this is a little bit different than our other facility rental. We have parks rental for shelter that we do, and facility rental like the adult center or the Grapevine that we do all the time. This is fairly new, and so because of the scale of it as well, it's going through a different process, as I mentioned, temporary use permit process. So they're gonna have condition that's gonna be written out that the applicant will need to follow. Certainly, as far as deposit goes, apologies, I don't think do we wanna it is not written out here other than for these tiered fees. I imagine it will be consistent with everything else unless the TUP and everything will have that condition.
We aren't proposing to charge a deposit fee, but we definitely could do that if that is something. This is a relatively new process for us in that these requests have not been coming to us on a regular basis, but we're starting to see them more now. And basically the park, because of our park space not being huge, essentially when the park is used for these types of special events, it does not allow us to rent the other park spaces, if you will. So this is why we're looking at proposing these fees.
So when we rent it to the private, for third party for their event, do they take care of their own trash or we would take care of the trash?
We would have them take care of that trash.
We'll have them to
Yeah.
take care of it.
Sorry.
Because the reason I will just bring this up, because sometimes when we rent a house and when we increase the monthly rent, then we also increase the deposit amount. So have the people to pay the difference, compared with the first year. So this is why I'm addressing that.
Correct, and currently, all of our other rental with the parks and facility rental, we do have deposit that's collected upfront.
Okay.
And then until when everything is finalized, if all is in satisfaction, that gets refunded.
Refund.
Yep.
Do we provide a resident discount for the park rental?
For the park rental.
So these proposed fees are new. Our current park rentals, we do not have a resident discount.
So for this fee, that is for how many hours? This is per day, right? So what is it, when we define the day, that means from the morning 6 a.m. till like in the night 12 p.m. or 12 a.m.? What is the time that we have set here?
It would be a full day, similar to our picnic rental reservations are for the full day. We don't do multiple picnic rentals during the day.
Right, but for how many hours maximum for them that people can use?
It would be park hours.
Park hours,
So I believe park hours are 9 to 9.
9 to 9? Okay, good, thank you. And I'm glad that we just talked about a pool, and so that is definitely for St. Gabriel resident first. So any classes that would be open for a resident to register or anyone who would like to enroll the class, that we always have our resident, they have the more priority than other cities' resident. Is that correct?
So for our swim classes, our swim lessons, which are our most popular classes, we have done registration for, priority registration for residents. I don't envision these fees that we are proposing, we will have likely the same interest level that we do in our swim classes. So I don't know that we would need to do a priority registration for residents for the lap swim and water aerobics and that sort of thing.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. That's all my questions. So we're okay?
May I ask one more question, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Sorry, I forgot. Back to, this slide, slide 5, upper right-hand. So, for example, Tier 1, for renting the park, then there's different prices depending on which park we're using because of the size of the park and such. So, and then there's the other item, $200 move-in and out venue fee per day. So is that on top of the whichever park? For example, Lugo, they'll be paying a $550, then plus the $200?
That is correct.
For the,
That is correct.
okay, so that's just on top of whichever park fee,
Right.
depending on the size of the park.
And on top of that, there's also TUP, which is a temporary use permit. So again,
Okay,
this is
okay.
not just rent, like mentioned, this is a little different than our
Okay.
regular facility rental because this is an outdoor group gathering, so it triggers a temporary use permit when
I see.
outdoor. So there's other fees and there's other procedures that we need to comply with, not just any, I mean, these as laid out, who can actually rent
Right.
their park for this amount, but they need to also go first to the temporary use permit.
Right.
Get that approved to the planning, community development department first before we even
Okay.
consider and look to see which tier the
Right.
event will fall within.
So this matrix, this tier structure is on top of all the other procedures we already have?
Correct. Right.
Okay, thank you.
Doesn't bypass.
I yield. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Chan. So Chief City Clerk, do we have any public comments?
I have no comments, Mayor.
Okay, so now I. What? But is this? The speaker card? Okay, sure. Okay, yeah, so public comment, so Chastity?
Sorry, I think it's under all your papers. Okay. Thank you. So once again, just commenting, so on April 24th, the 2024-25 budget was presented, projecting the revenue for parking fines to be up by $100,000. Both Vice Mayor Menchaca and Councilmember Ding questioned why there was such an increase in the revenue generated by levying fines primarily on our residents. Councilmember Ding took it a step further to understanding the increases by discovering that we are not issuing more tickets, but that each year the fines are increased. Therefore, the same number of tickets is generating 15% more in the way of revenue for the city. As part of the fee schedule to consideration tonight, in Attachment G, the parking fines are scheduled to increase again this year by 2.5% across the board. If the city council members were looking at the budget and fee schedule through a lens of equity, as the expertise provided by the members of the HERE Commission would have assisted you to do, the next logical question that no one asked that night after why we are taking in $100,000 more this year out of the pockets of our residents would be, are we disproportionately burdening certain groups in our community with these fines? Vice Mayor Menchaca said that she is unsure how you get a parking fine. This might be a mystery for someone who lives in a single-family dwelling, as I do also, on a street with other single-family dwellings with driveways that have sufficient space for our cars. Since San Gabriel has a no overnight parking ordinance, for those who live in denser areas where multiple vehicles have to compete for off-street parking, or you have to fine $140 every year for every car you have to park on the street overnight, that can be a problem. If the majority of fines that are occurring with the residents are occurring with residents who have fewer resources, lower incomes, and/or who are renters and live in multifamily buildings, that is something that needs to be identified and addressed. A few citations can add up when they are unable to be paid and can lead to a vehicle being impounded. That then means the means of transportation for the family or individual is removed, which can lead to loss of wages, unemployment, housing and food insecurity, and more problems than one might have considered from a single parking ticket. I know that you might think that this is an exaggeration, but I promise you it occurs. The problem is not solely more education, as Vice Mayor Menchaca has suggested, although providing signage in at least Mandarin is one solution that addresses inclusion and access. I have requested the records with data on the location of parking citations issued in our city for the most recent 2 years, and will return to let you know whether there is a disparity that exists in the issuance of parking fines. Thank you.
Thank you. So any other public comment? No. So now I close the public hearing, and it's now time for council to discuss, and who would like to start? Okay. I see now. So do we? I'm sorry. Oh, Councilmember Ding. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. So we're still talking about you have the tier 1 to 5. So for the charge all the parking the fee. So previously we don't have to charge anything.
That is
right?
correct.
Okay. And the $300, like 300 or Smith Park at $400. That's one day. It's just part of the area or the whole park. So because I just wanted to know the definition. It's yeah.
So in this case, it would be the whole park. We have a user group that's come forward that wants to use the entire park, and in using the entire park, we are not allowing other residents, for example, to have their family parties at the picnic shelters. So basically, the city is actually losing that income because we're not able to rent those other picnic shelters. And the residents, for example, are not able to come and have their family parties there that day. So the park is out of service, if you will, for that regular public use.
So currently policy, we can allow them to rent whole park.
Current policy only have rental for shelters, picnic area.
Just
So
a
it's not
shelter.
a whole entire park. So it is still shared, so they get a little area that get blocked off for the day for the rental.
It's a shelter
It's a
area
shelter,
only,
correct.
not
That is
the
correct,
not
not
the
the whole
include like a tennis court, pickleball, or the I think on the east side, it's not included. Okay, just only for the shelter. Okay. So is it how many like organization or private sector they rent the whole park? We have any number on that?
We currently do not have a fee and have not allowed for that to occur. So that's why we're proposing these tiered so that can be a possibility. So previously it's only, as mentioned, it's just small little area of the park.
And first come, first serve. We don't do any reservation for them too.
For reservation?
Currently.
Currently they have to apply.
They have to
In order for
apply.
the rent, that's correct. The application is through the Community Services Department, and there's an application process as well as a deposit for the day. And the Community Services will calculate the fee and the applicant will have to pay before the rental.
Okay.
So until they,
So you're talking about the fee, so current fee, how much for the?
Current fee for the shelter?
Yeah, shelter.
Okay, so with the attachment from the staff report, if you turn to page 50 of the, 50 of the Exhibit 1, or, let me just get to the right.
Okay. So if Miss Park.
They're in two areas, so let's say attachment 1 of the staff report, or attachment I. So many letters. On page 20 or page 50, they're both on both places. So the Marshall Park shelter area A or B, as you can see, are you there? Okay. So Marshall Park shelter A or B, current fee is 80, and it is proposing at no change for the new fiscal year. So as mentioned, even though we are increasing a lot of different fees at a 2.5 CPI% increase, there are a good number of fees that are also proposed with no changes for the current year. Specifically, really, majority of them are in community services and Mission Playhouse. And and the Smith Park, as you mentioned, the Gabrielino area is currently at 135, and it's no change for the new fiscal year. So those are the rental of the area.
But after you have the new fee, so will we charge you like $400
And
for the Gabrielino?
the new-
Gabrielino area,
So if it's just the regular rental of the Gabrielino area, it is $135 for rental.
well,
but
per day. It's
the
1 days?
For the day.
Okay, not based on the hour.
Right. And then with the new tier for the Smith Park, that'll be $400. But that's for the whole park for the day.
It's the whole park.
Correct. 400 plus the move in and move out for the venue per day.
Moving, move out, it's meaning like if they use the Saturday, if they want to move in the Friday, we charge that, or just same days moving and move out?
Same day.
Same day, the moving, move
Set
out.
up and clean up, that sort of thing.
Moving, move out, this, it's not refundable, right? It's a charge, okay. So, I think most people not really use the whole days. Probably they use a couple hours for the birthday party or whatever, right? So is it possible we can flexible? It's based on hour rate, especially for our resident. Yeah, maybe can save their,
Currently for the different tier, so let's just say tier 1 is mainly free, open to the public. There's community health. Example of that would be for community health programs events that may go on. For tier 2 is for free private events, limited setup, no alcohol, with control access and exclusive use. And examples for those that would fall into this tier would be for weddings, school graduation, celebration. So that is an example. They would fall into tier 2 and not at a higher tier like 4 or 5 for a residential celebration.
And just so I can clarify, Councilmember Ding, so everybody is on the same page, if a family wants to have a birthday party, there's no charge for that. It's first come, first served. They can go to the park in the morning. They can set up their blankets and chairs and have a birthday party. There'd be no charge for that. This would only be for those kinds of events like a corporate picnic, or in this case, we've had a request from an outside organization to reserve the park for use that day. And in that case, we would have to tell everybody who tried to come in the morning that it's closed for everybody else. So this wouldn't add a charge for anybody just wanting to use the park or a birthday, unless they're trying to reserve the picnic shelters. And there's no change to that.
Yeah, but from my experience, our city, it's a little different. I have a chance to go to the different city, the park. They usually based on some category, for example, how many the attendee. For example, it's more than 50, so will be charging group rate, or less than. Otherwise, you see if you set up this rule, but everybody can say we're just private. I can have 100 people. I don't need to pay for it, right? So that's I ask the question. So it's another city, the park, they base sometimes they base our rate, and also sometimes they base on how many attendee will be go to the picnic area. So I think it may be more realistic to help the community. Also, its price will be more flexible. Otherwise, so if maybe even maybe 50 people, we charge you like $400. Yeah, maybe the community feel that's hard to affordable, something like that, you know. Yeah.
Sorry, I can address that. I know, for example, at Vincent Lugo Park, our La Laguna area holds 100 people. So if someone has an event that's 100 people or 50 people, they would be able to rent one of the picnic areas, and those would still be available. This is for a group that is trying to propose a larger event that basically will not necessarily use those picnic shelters, but will use the entirety of the park, leaving it unavailable to the public to just come and use those picnic shelters. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand it, but how do you calculate how sometimes for example they have 100 people, they say they just have the graduation or birthday party or whatever celebration party. So even you set up a rule, but it's still hard to charge them, right? If we really want to charge them. So I meaning, so we should be some guideline to let the people, if they say, hey, just 20 people, it's fine, right? Just let them use the regular fee, 135. I'm talking about if it's Miss Park, right? Yeah.
So in that case, we would encourage them, if they have a smaller party like that, we would encourage them to use the picnic shelter area, which is already available for rent.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's yeah. So if they're more than 20, or we can set up whatever the number you feel like comfortable, the number for the attendee. So at least to have some, guidelines. So that's my suggestion.
I mean, certainly for these tiers, maybe I just want to add that these tier scheduled right here, again, is for the whole park. So pretty much it's going to be blocked off. So if you would like to have a party of maybe 20, 30 people, and that day there isn't a special event where somebody have applied for the TUP to really block off the whole entire park, Rebecca mentioned that, we'll recommend that they would like to do a reservation for the smaller area. And yes, they do have access, and other members of the public can also enjoy the park on the same day. This is really a complete block off of
the whole park.
Yeah, it's the whole park. So this is a different.
Okay.
So I mean, if it's a birthday celebration, very family oriented, you may want to do a area. We do not have the number of people quite there, but at least it is not blocked off, or the party is not requiring the whole entire park to be off limit from any other resident to use the park. So that's a little different. That will just be a regular rental that we currently have, and for these 5 tier, it requires that the whole entire park is blocked off from other a resident coming in to use the park.
Okay. I understand it. So that's why I want to number. So how many times per year? But if we entire year, for example, it's a good case for the city revenue. Every weekend, have the big group that want to rent a whole park. So I think maybe some resident will be complaining too.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's a complaint. So why you do that, right? So maybe we should be even know some number, how many every year, how many days they can rent a whole park. If like a weekday, probably it's okay, but a weekend, so maybe a lot of residents really want to use it,
So certainly
that's
we
a
don't.
consideration too.
Right, we certainly don't have any history or records of doing that, because we did not have a fee schedule like this before for that to even happen, even though we have been approached to ask to use the whole park for event. But since we do not have any fee sets, that was not allowed. But for this, to use the third-party special event facility rental, park facility rental, they need to, again, first go through the temporary use permit process. So that is not something that they can come in today and say, I want it for this weekend either.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's very rare.
Probably need 6 months before, right?
That would be our temporary use permit process.
I think the policy is 60 days, if I recall.
60
Right.
days, yes.
So, there's a requirement that they have to submit at least 60 days prior to the event at a certain price or.
Okay. Plus the use permit too, additional. fee.
Correct. That is definitely different than a regular family little shelter rental.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's very rare that you've
It
seen that.
probably may not be a whole lot of this throughout the year, but we certainly want to propose it so that a possibility can happen in case we are approached by groups for this kind of event.
Okay, understand.
Just so we have a procedure.
Correct, yes.
And another question, I still want to see the fee. That's back to we have the Chinese Lunar New Year, the festival. So all the vendor. So we asking some temporary license fee if they don't have the license, license in our city, right? So here, how much, I still cannot find it. So how much costs for the single, maybe two days event, yeah.
So the single or the price that we have established is for city-sponsored event, for vendors that the city approach and get to come to our event.
City-sponsored.
They are for city-sponsored event only.
Okay.
And then for these, if we're gonna go through the tiers once again, there's free, open to the public, no alcohol, limited. I mean, there is no bringing in of vendors that is being talked about here. Are we gonna allow for that? And if we allow for that, regular business license is a tax. We will not waive those as necessary. If somebody's gonna come in to do business here in the city, we will definitely require them to get the business license.
So for example, the current farmer's market,
Correct.
they need to pay for it, right?
That is correct. So every vendor that shows up at our event, they are required to pay the business license fee. And because from the last few council agenda that we're not going to be changing our business license tax, for those that are miscellaneous, that are not currently spelled out, it's been mentioned that we may use the existing flat rate for business license, or unless we want to discuss further to provide the reduced rate for those vendors. That is probably to be bring back at another time. But for sure, any trucks, vendor that are coming in, if they are doing business in the city, they are required to pay for a business license tax.
So for the single days, the license, where I can find how much the charge?
For the city sponsor is $25.94.
$25.90. If not a city sponsor, how much?
$87.75.
$87.75.
And that is a regular business license fee.
Okay, that's not a one-day license. It's annually license.
It's a flat annual amount.
Flat one. Okay.
Correct.
All right. It's on which one page? Did you not see?
For page for the tax?
Yeah, it's because this is business license, not the.
Right, it's on the tax, so as taxes are not considered
Understand it,
today, it's
understand it.
not on there.
Okay. And so I just want to double check the Mission Playhouse. So a lot of those okay, I saw that. Okay, they'll have the nonprofit organization, the rental fee, right? So
We do have.
okay, yeah, that's it right now. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilmember Dean. And thank you, Linda. Just a final one, when the added fee and new fee schedule will be take effective?
If it's adopted today, if you adopt the resolution today, it will be effective July 1st of 2024.
Thank you. Okay, so now, is anyone else? No? Anyone would like to motion?
I'll move staff recommendation to adopt resolution 2426, updating the master fee schedule for 24-25 fiscal year.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion has been made by Councilmember Harrington and second by Councilmember Chen. Please vote.
Motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
Next item, please.
We have no continued business or new business, and I have no cards for the second public comment section.
Okay. And now it's City Manager's report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Just a reminder to the community that our farmers market is open every Saturday morning. It's a little bit light this weekend, I think, because it was drizzling, but encourage everybody to come out. The vendors are there, the pastries are good, I can vouch for that.
Well, thank you. And council comments and the conference meeting report, please. Anyone? Yes, Councilmember Chen.
All right, yeah, just a couple things. It's been a little while since the last council meeting. On April 17th to the 19th, the members of council, we all attended the League of California Cities Conference. It's a legislative conference. I noticed that a lot of the discussions, the focus was on homelessness, the homelessness problem, but it didn't seem like they had very many solutions, but mainly it was the theme that kept coming back was they just want to keep asking for more funding. So that's kind of where their focus was. On the 26th, I attended the San Gabriel Chamber of Commerce monthly networking breakfast at the Elks. They always do a great job. On the 27th was the grand open, well, yeah, speaking of the farmers market, I attended the grand opening of the San Gabriel Farmers Market. It's a great event, a lot of very good vendors, and I can also vouch for the food quality. And on the same day, later that day, I also attended Monterey Park's Cherry Blossom Festival. They do a nice job of Japanese culture and kind of celebrating the cherry blossoms and the Japanese culture. So, and on the 28th, I participated in the Mission to Mission event, where it's walking and biking. Most people bike. It started at South Pasadena City Hall and went through Alhambra, and the route ended at San Gabriel City Hall. And most people took a bike, but I walked all 5 miles. So it was good exercise, and I needed it. So on the 3rd of May, I attended the San Gabriel Cinco de Mayo Mercado, and it was also well attended and a great event to celebrate the Mexican culture. And earlier today, I attended a San Gabriel Chamber of Commerce Tasty Tuesday networking event. It was a networking lunch just up the street at our own Luna's. So the food was great and a good chance to network. So that concludes my report. I yield, Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you, Councilmember Chen. You covered almost everything I had.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Ditto.
And Councilmember Dane, please.
Yeah, Councilman Chen has already covered most of the things, like the California Legal City, and I'm glad that we all the full council to attend it, to have a well training, and then April 27, we first opening for our San Gabriel Farmers Market. It's we're glad that we have the almost couple of years. It's back to the maybe 2018. So we to suggest it to have the farmers market come back, and Metro Mission to Mission. Yes, I have it's attended too. It's for me it's hard to buy and walk. I just walk our city. And okay, I have another chance. It's attend the SCARE regional conference at Palm Desert. Yeah, it's a lot of information, especially for the public safety and homeless and affordable housing. How do the regional to cooperate? Okay, to share the information, and and that's May from May 1st to May 3rd. And May 3rd, we have the Cinco de Mayo. And it's May 4. I have a chance to attend the La Casa local yard sale for their fundraising. Okay. And I actually have a lot of community event for the last 3 weeks, especially for weekend. So I don't want to repeat it right now too much. Okay. So and still, encourage we take advantage for our coming Saturday for the still like a farmers market, and the Becky just mentioned, Anson have a composter, so it's really helped your backyard if you really want to like fruit, veggie. It's really thanks the Anson have the back to the community service. Okay, and happy Mother's Day for the Sunday. Okay, all right, for all the mother. Okay, and thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Ding. Just a very quick announcement that on May 11th, this coming Saturday, the Fire Service Day at the Fire Station 51 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And also the May 18th, Play Day at the La Laguna Playgrounds from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And a closed section, I see none. The next regular council meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. and meeting adjourned at 8:05 p.m.